following opposition allegations of mismanagement of the rupee that have led to its current state of depreciation. State Minister of Money and Capital Market and State Enterprise Reforms Ajit Nivard Cabral held a media briefing today where he offered clarifications on the issues at hand.
You see, there is no direct correlation between the rupee value and the printing of money. Some people bring various equations to this whole exercise. These are all to some extent interconnected. I'm not denying that. Even during the time that I was the governor, we had instances where there was excessive treasury bills issued. But the rupee was stable. How do they account for that then? It is a judicious management of both the interest rates as well as the exchange rate that will bring about that result.
Further, while accepting that at present treasury bill issuances can be considered high, State Minister Cabral revealed that Sri Lanka can expect a period of quantitative easing soon when some semblance of normalization occurs.
At the current moment, yes, we do recognize that there have been instances where the total amount of treasury bills issued is somewhat high. We are not saying no, but at the same time, there will be a time that will come at which time we will pull this back. You have heard about quantitative easing. That time also will come. At that time, perhaps the interest rates might increase. That happened all over the world. The amount of treasury bills outstanding would be curtailed. That time will come once somewhat normalcy returns. So we haven't seen that normalcy returning as yet. That's why we need to move towards that normalcy as fast as possible. And I think we are getting there.
In addition, addressing concerns regarding the country's foreign reserves and its ability to service its foreign debt commitments, he expressed confidence that despite current shortfalls, a change for the positive is on the cards in the next 2 to 3 months.
We recognize that the total dollars that will be there will be less than what we have to spend on. In the time of the COVID aftermath, there were certain tough decisions that had to be taken. But that is temporary because we need to also ensure that we have sufficient dollars in hand to be able to meet with our commitments. But overall, we believe that when we do that, within a very short period of time, that this condition would change. That's what we are aiming for. And we think that in the maximum, say, 2 to 3 months, there will be a change in the direction that we are moving because there will be dollar inflows. There would be certain reductions in imports, which people do voluntarily as well. And that would be very helpful. But it will all change by next year. Once tourism picks up and the global conditions are different, we should be able to manage that in a much easier fashion.
Meanwhile, speaking on the issue of foreign exchange controls for imports and exports, the State Minister revealed that the government has had fruitful discussions with all stakeholders who understand how important a stable rupee and external account is for their own businesses.
The importers, exporters, the government, the long-term vision of the companies, all that is interconnected. So if we work in compartments, we would be damaging ourselves. So we have had some very cordial discussions, frank discussions, and I think there are more and more people who are beginning to recognize that the stability of the rupee, the stability of the overall external account will help them and will not be a burden to them. If there is no stability, they will also find it very difficult to do their businesses. And now that that recognition is beginning to dawn, I am quite confident that we would have a much easier passage in the next few weeks and months to come.
In addition, offering an update on government revenue figures, he announced that the government has been successful in curtailing expenditure to 48% of its total requirement, thereby bringing about significant savings.
In customs duties, we have achieved 33% when we should have had 50%. Inland revenue, 40%. Excise, 42%. Non-tax, 19%, but I think that should also increase in future. Other items, about 54%. So overall, we have achieved about 34% of the revenue. We have been able to curtail the expenditure to about 48% of what was estimated. Then the total capital expenditure has been around 29% of the total that has been earmarked. So there is some savings there. But in the next 6 months, I think when the revenues increase, we would be in a position to deal with this on a more efficient manner.
Glow and handsome. AAT multivitamin සහ UV filters දෙගුණයකින් වැඩි දීප්තියක් ලබා දෙයි.
මුණ ගැන හිතන්න. හිරු කිරණින් ආරක්ෂා කරගන්න.